In this video, we are going to walk through the settings screen. This is where you configure everything that makes the app work the way your business needs it to. Your business profile, printer hardware, payment terminals, third-party integrations, appearance, and user management. Let's go through each section one by one. From the mode selection screen, tap Settings. The settings screen is organized into 6 tabs along the top: Business, Hardware, Terminal, Integrations, Appearance, and User. Let's start from the beginning. The first tab is Business. This is where you set up your organization's information. At the top is the Basic Information section. You can tap the logo area to upload your business logo, which will appear on printed receipts and invoices. Below that, you enter your organization name and a short description. There is also a currency drop-down where you select your default currency, for example, Canadian dollar or US dollar. This affects how prices and totals are displayed throughout the app. Below the basic info is the business address section. You can either search for your address using the search bar and have the fields fill in automatically, or type the details manually: street address, unit number, city, zip code, country, and province or state. Keeping this accurate is important because the address appears on your printed invoices and documents. Below the address is the tax configuration section. This is where you set up the tax rules that apply to your sales. If you are starting fresh, there is a quick setup option where you pick your country and your province or state, and the app will automatically suggest the correct tax rules for that region. For example, if you are in Ontario, Canada, it will suggest HST. If you are in Alberta, it will suggest GST only. You can apply the suggestion with one tap, and the rules will be added to your tax list without needing to do any manual entry. You can also add rules manually by tapping Add Tax Rule and entering the tax name and rate yourself. Each rule shows the type and percentage. You can delete individual rules if they do not apply to your business. When your tax rules are set, tap Save, and they will be applied to all new orders and invoices from that point on. Now let's move to the Hardware tab. This tab is all about connecting your receipt printer and label printer. At the top, you'll see 2 printer cards, one for the receipt printer and one for the label printer. If a printer is already connected, its card will show the printer name and an active badge in green. If nothing is connected yet, each card will show a message telling you to scan below. To connect a printer, scroll down to the Available Printers section and tap Scan. The app will search for nearby printers over USB, Bluetooth, or Wi-Fi, depending on your device and what is available. When printers are found, they appear in a list. Tap the one you want to connect. Once a receipt printer is connected, you get a few quick actions on its card. Test Print sends a test receipt to confirm everything is working. Open Drawer triggers the cash drawer connected to the printer, which is useful if you want to test the drawer without processing a sale. And Disconnect removes the connection. There is also a settings section under the connected receipt printer card. Here you can set the paper width, choosing between 58mm, 72mm, or 80mm, depending on your printer's paper roll. There is also an Auto Open Drawer toggle. When this is on, the cash drawer will open automatically every time a cash sale is completed at the POS. Very convenient, so you don't have to do it manually after every transaction. The label printer card works the same way. Once connected, you can do a test print and configure the label size and print density settings to make sure your product labels come out clean. Now let's look at the Terminal tab. This is where you configure your card terminals so that the card terminal button in the POS actually connects to a real payment device. Invoyes currently supports 3 providers: Square, Moneris, and Helcham. To add a terminal, tap the Add Terminal button in the top right. A dialog will open where you select your provider, give the terminal a name, enter the required credentials for that provider, and choose whether this is a sandbox environment for testing or a live production environment. For Square specifically, once you create the terminal entry, a device pairing code will be displayed on the card. You take that code and enter it directly on your physical Square terminal device to complete the pairing. The code has an expiration time shown on screen, so complete the pairing before it expires. Once paired, the status badge on the card will update to Paired or Online. For Moneris and Helcham, you provide your API credentials and terminal configuration during setup. After saving, you can tap Check Status on any active terminal card to verify the connection is live. Each terminal card shows the provider logo, the terminal name, the environment it's connected to, and the current status. You can also edit the terminal details or delete it if you need to swap devices. The refresh button at the top reloads all your configured terminals from the server. Now let's go to the Integrations tab. Currently, the main integration available is WinRx, which is a pharmacy prescription management system. If your business is a pharmacy or health store that uses WinRx software to print prescription labels, this integration lets you scan those WinRx barcodes directly at the POS. To set it up, toggle the Enable WinRx integration switch to On. When this is active, if you scan a barcode at the POS that is not recognized as one of your own products, the app will check if it's a WinRx prescription barcode. WinRx barcodes have the item price encoded directly inside the barcode. The app reads that price and automatically creates a prescription line item in the cart with the correct price. No need to look up or manually enter the price. The customer's prescription is scanned, priced, and added in one step. When WinRx is enabled, the status area under the toggle will turn green and confirm that the integration is active. If it's off, the area shows a brief description of what the integration does. More integrations like payment processors and accounting software are listed as coming soon in the same tab. Now let's look at the Appearance tab. The first section is Theme mode. You have three options: Light, Dark, and System. Light gives you a bright white interface. Dark switches to a DAC background, which is easier on the eyes in low-light environments. System automatically follows your device's current dark or light mode setting. Just tap one you want, and the app updates instantly. Below that is the Accent Color section. This is where you personalize the app's main color used for buttons, highlights, and active states. There's a row of color swatches to choose from. Tap any color, and the entire interface updates to use that accent. Your selection is saved automatically. Below the accent colors is the Display Options section. Here you have three toggles. Reduce Animations minimizes movement effects throughout the app, which is useful on older devices or if you prefer a more static interface. Large Text increases the text size throughout the app for better readability. And High Contrast increases the visual contrast between elements for improved visibility. All three settings save automatically. Finally, there is a Reset button at the bottom of this tab. If you want to go back to the default theme settings, tap Reset and confirm. Everything goes back to light mode, the default accent color, and all display options off. Now let's look at the last tab, which is User. The top section is My Account. This shows your profile card with your avatar, your full name, your role badge, email address, and phone number. From here, you can change your email or update your password. If you are not a super user, below your account card, you will see a My Permissions section. This is a read-only view showing exactly which parts of the app you have access to, based on what the admin has set for your account. It's a clear way to see what you can and cannot do in the system. If you are logged in as a super user, you will see the Team Management section instead. At the top of this section, there's a stats bar showing the total number of users in your organization, how many are currently active, and a breakdown by role: super users, employees, and auditors. Below the stats is the full user list. Each row shows the user's name, role, email, and active status. Tap any user to see their full details. You can also edit their information, toggle their account between active and inactive, or remove them from the organization. To add a new user, tap the Add User button. A form opens where you enter their name, email, phone, assign them a role, and configure their permissions. There are 3 roles available. Super user has full access to everything. Employee has a customizable permission set, meaning you can toggle on or off specific modules like orders, products, inventory, payments, and so on, giving each employee access only to what they need. Auditor is a read-only role, useful for accountants or managers who need to view records without being able to create or change anything. Below the Team Management section, there is a Preferences section for personal settings, a session where you can sign out, and an About section showing the current app version and build information. And that covers everything in settings.
To recap, the Business tab is your organization profile, address, and tax rules. The Hardware tab is where you connect and configure your receipt and label printers. The Terminal tab is where you set up your card payment terminals for Square, Moneris, or Helcom. The Integrations tab is where you enable WinRx for pharmacy prescription scanning and check for upcoming integrations. The Appearance tab lets you switch between light and dark mode, pick an accent color, and adjust display preferences. And the User tab is where you manage your account and, if you're an admin, your entire team with role-based permission control. That's a wrap for the full Invoyes tutorial series.